All right, here's the one we've all been waiting for. I just reviewed all three of the Insidiouses before this in a row here. So I am ready, man. I am all revved up and ready to go. First, I would like to talk. First, I will say, if you're just here to get a quick little thing, I think that if you enjoyed part 3, that you'll enjoy part 4. If you have given up on this franchise and you're like, I hated 3 and maybe 4 will redeem it, I don't think this is going to be the movie to bring you back to the love that you had for like the first one or the second one. I did really enjoy 3 myself, to give you guys an idea. So if you like 3, I think you will fully enjoy 4. If you hated 3, I think this one's a little bit more in line with 3. So I wouldn't recommend it to people who didn't like 3. But if you're going to see a 4th film in a franchise and you don't like 1 or 2 entries already in this franchise, I don't know. I guess you're just having hope that something else is going to revive, but I just don't think that's going to work. So anyway, I'm going to get more into this. I'm not going to talk spoilers here, but so if you just wanted to know that, there you go. Now, talking about my theater experience really quick, I had some very annoying people in the theater with me. One guy behind me was playing with something, was crinkly as shit. It was almost like he was doing it on purpose. I don't know what he was eating, whatever it was. And then towards the end of the movie, almost right before the credits rolled, he just took his cup. It just had ice in it, and he just dumped it all over the floor in front of him, and then set the cup down and just kept watching the movie. And I was like, is that a normal thing? Does he think that that's a normal thing that people do? The people will come in and clean this up. It was shocking to me. I looked back and I was like, are you fucking serious right now? Who does that shit? People are fucking crazy. Anyway, and then the chick next to me, there was a scene that happens. I'm not going to say what it was, of course, but she seemed to think it was brutal. It was pretty good, and I laughed. And she talked so much shit about me to her friends. She was like, oh my God, that was, what did she say? She was like, that was brutal or vicious or graphic or something. And she was so taken aback by it. And it was PG-13, trust me, it wasn't that bad by any means. But I found it to be funny. It was the only part of the movie I laughed at because of the gore, because of the kills. Because I usually laugh out loud at really great kills. And she was just like, oh my God, this fucking guy next to me, he thought that was funny? He's laughing right now? I don't understand. What's funny about that? I was like, it's fucking funny. Why are you in a movie like this if you can't handle violence? It's a fucking horror movie. Get the hell out of here. And then she just kept checking her phone. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about these people for too long, but theater experiences do play a part in your enjoyment level of a film. Like it or not. That's why I'm not a huge fan of the theaters. That's why I'm kind of I could watch it at home and I'd be a lot happier. I don't have to deal with crinkle fuck behind me, ice dumper, and fucking, whiny bitch here. Oh God. So those were some distractions and detractions from the film, but overall I really enjoyed the film and I was able to look past the fucking goof troop. All right. So this movie is it is Lynn's movie, Lynn Shane's movie. The character Elise, she is at the forefront. She is the main character. This is all her. If you don't like Lynn, you ain't gonna like this movie. She is the central protagonist, and I love that because Lynn Shane is a 74-year-old woman who is headlining a popular horror movie franchise. She is the face of this franchise. She is the one main face. Yes, you've got Specs and Tucker. They're background humor characters. They're there to provide laughs. That's their point. Lynn is a central character. The plot's always run through her in some capacity. I love that Lynn Shane, a horror icon like her at this age, is able to be at the forefront of a film like this. Awesome shit. So that's great. Now this movie takes place after part 3, which is a prequel to the first 2, but before 1 and 2, in case anyone's wondering where this is set. Now, we got rid of the chapter thing here because we had chapter 2 and chapter 3, and now it's just the last key, which a lot of franchises eventually fall into. They start knocking the numbers off because they think once people see like it's a 4 or 5 that they're just like, nah, I'm not going to see a movie that's that deep into sequels because sequels suck, especially in the later. But the fact that they put last in the title, they're just asking to be made fun of here because they're probably going to make another one. If this made a theater release and it makes any money, we're getting at least a direct-to-DVD sequel, but more than likely even a theater release. So it's not suggesting it is the last one. It's not like it's called the last Insidious ever to exist, or the final Friday, or the final chapter, or however many times Jason had a final movie. But it does have last in the title, so this will join the ranks among all the other franchises that put last and final and all those things in their titles, and then they weren't. We'll see though. This may not get a sequel, and we'll never, and then it will really be the last thing. But as I said, this title doesn't suggest it's the last one. I just think it's funny when they put the last in it. Although The Last Jedi clearly isn't going to be the last one. So I just completely tore apart my whole logic there. Wow. Maybe I'll have to delete that part. But yeah. So I think that where a lot of people will either be completely lost on this film or be rolling their eyes and cringing throughout this film is Specs and Tucker's characters' humor within this film. Now, I feel like if you really have enjoyed their humor in the other films, that you'll be fine here. But if you haven't, you probably won't. Like, everything here, if you like certain things in the last few, you'll probably like these here. They're very consistent. So things are, you can count on things being pretty similar. Like, if you like Lin Shane's character in the other ones, you'll like her. If you like their characters, Specs and Tucker's characters, you'll like them here. If you don't, you won't. If you don't like the last one, you probably won't like this one. It's pretty consistent. Their humor for me was half and half. Like, some of it hit and some of it didn't. I know a lot of people are complaining about the humor that I've looked into, and certain scenes that they were calling out as not funny or didn't land at all actually were some of the ones that did land for me and worked for the theater as well. So that's their own personal experience. I had a different experience, but there were some jokes that was kind of just like, I didn't have any jokes where I was like, oh, they said that? That's cringy. It wasn't like that. It just didn't work for me. It could have worked for the person next to me, although the person next to me was a dipshit. So who knows what works for her, and who cares? And there is some very dark subject matter happening here. This is a PG-13 franchise, and they're able to slip in a lot darker of subject matter than a lot of PG-13 franchises can. And this one, I think, has the darkest subject matter of them all. And some of the stuff they're able to get away with in this, just imagery and just, off-screen subject matter, you're just like, damn, man, that's grim. This is a dark one. They get into Elise's childhood, and that might turn people off right there. I know a lot of people are not into origin type stuff at all, but this isn't an origin of the, antagonist. This is the protagonist, so maybe it'll work for people. I don't know. I can't judge on that shit. But the connections to the other films in this franchise are pretty good. They're subtle enough that they're not heavy-handed and they're not in your face and be like, remember this? Like, they're just subtle enough that you're like, oh, okay, I remember that. Oh, that's cool. A little connection there, a little connection here. So I like the little connective tissue that they have bridging this one from 3 to 1 and 2. It's not heavy-handed in my opinion. In these all 4 of these now, because it's a PG-13 franchise, a PG-13 movie gets to utter one fuck throughout a movie. And you're always waiting for it. For this franchise now, it's become the, I've got a bad feeling about this Star Wars line where you're waiting for it. You're like, who's going to get the fuck this time? you know, Patrick Wilson gets it in the first one, and so on and so forth. And so in this one, I was waiting for it, and I was like, where is it? Who's going to say it? And then it happened, and I'm like, there it is. I always wait for it in PG-13 movies that are movies that probably should have been R, typically. When you get into those movies, you're always like, one fuck's coming, you're waiting for it. So I was waiting for it in this one. I also really like to see Josh Stewart in this from the Collection franchise. I really like those movies. Patrick Melton and Marcus Dunstan wrote and did those. They wrote the Saw franchise from 4 to 7. So a little connection there, since Lee and James did the first, James left after the first movie for directorial, but Lee wrote the first 3. So there were some connections there. I like that. And there's another, yet again, I've said this in the other ones, there's another ghost hidden in the movie where they walk past and there's a ghost there, and you're like, wait, did you see that? You're always waiting for that's another one you're kind of looking for throughout this series. Elise is pretty badass in this. I mean, they really ramp her up in this to be a force to be reckoned with, and I really liked it. I just love Lynn Shane in this movie. I thought she was excellent. There's moments where it's not amazing acting, but I don't know, it just worked. It was so great to see her, and she gives such a cool performance, and I just love that she's the face of this franchise. I can't get enough of it. Yet again, no fake jump scares in this, no friend jumping out and saying boo, no black cats being thrown at the screen, none of that shit. Anytime there is a jump scare, it is what you're supposed to be scared of, which is very important. And there is a question that arises in this. The character Tucker has long hair in this, sides to everything, and he has a mohawk in the third one, which is before this. So it begs the question, like, how much time is in between 3 and 4? Like, how did he grow his hair this long when he had shaved sides in the last movie? So I'm curious, because I'm a hairdresser and I know how long it takes to grow your hair that long. So it had to be a couple years at least. But anyway, yeah, so I'm not talking spoilers here or anything. So I guess I am done here. If you guys see this movie this weekend and you hate it, you can come here and tell me to fuck myself for recommending it, but I think I gave you a good fair warning. But anyway, yeah, if you guys see it and you love it, or you like it, or you just saw it and you want to tell me your thoughts, please let me know. Other than that, I will see you guys next time, man. Talking 4 straight Insidiouses in a row. That was fun. All right. Adios, guys.